you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Please be seated.
It was an extraordinary day in Washington. It's easy to lose sight amid recent events, but just how extraordinary it was. This was the Super Bowl for political Washington. The appearance of the former FBI director, who was fired a month ago, had bars offering specials to lure customers at 10 a.m. I'd be surprised if any real work got done in Washington today that didn't involve watching Jim Comey testify about his interactions with President Donald Trump. The Senate Intelligence Committee was hoping to learn more about the events that led up to Jim Comey's May 9th firing by President Trump. There have been conflicting accounts. The White House had initially explained his dismissal as resulting from a recommendation that had come from the Department of Justice. The president subsequently disputed that or contradicted his own aides and said that he had actually been thinking of what he called the quote-unquote Russia thing when he fired Mr. Comey. Mr. Comey had managed to get his side of the story out through friends, through contemporaneous memos that he had written summarizing his conversations with the president, and his view was that he had been discharged after failing to implement the president's request to halt the FBI's investigation of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
On May the 9th, when I learned that I had been fired, for that reason I immediately came home as a private citizen. But then the explanations, the shifting explanations, confused me and increasingly concerned me. The administration then chose to defame me, and more importantly, the FBI, by saying that the organization was in disarray, that it was poorly led, that the workforce had lost confidence in its leader. Those were lies, plain and simple.
The director said that he had literally woken up in the middle of the night following Mr. Trump's tweeted threat that there might be White House tapes of their conversations, and that he, Mr. Comey, had realized he needed to get his side of the story out, so he arranged for one of his memos to be passed by a close friend, a former federal prosecutor, Dan Richman, who now teaches at Columbia Law School. He arranged for Mr. Richman to pass the memo to reporters from the New York Times to get his side of the conversation before the public. For all the drama today, the controversy, the scandal over alleged Russian interference in the presidential election is going to continue for quite some time. Today doesn't really settle anything. Partisans on both sides will continue warring over what Mr. Comey said and what he meant. For the broader public, though, I think they'll draw their own conclusions about who to believe. But the special counsel's investigation, which is really just getting started, still in its first month, that will ultimately tell the tale, and that could run for a year or more.